Hi, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'm meteorologist Joe Cioffi. This is Weather in 5. I found this image on dreamstime.com on Etsy just to wish everybody a Happy New Year. And we've got a busy weather weekend, so we're going to get to that in a moment. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125. They have the best prices in town for anything you need regards to winter weather cleanup when the time comes. And that not only includes rock salt and some of the best snow and ice melt products, but it also includes snow blowers, shovels, and spreaders. You're supporting a local business on Long Island, and they have the lowest prices anywhere in the New York City tri-state area. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, 631-756-1125. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. I don't know if you could hear it over the microphone, but I've got a thunderstorm going on right now. I'm in North Georgia at the moment, still fighting my colitis. Every day is sort of like one step forward, half a step back. It's a very, very slow process, but I'm feeling better going into the end of 21 and the beginning of 22. We've had clouds today. Also, a few places saw at least some breaks of sun or a few slivers of sun, but clouds really kind of ruled the roost. And now you've got the subtropical Pacific moisture coming into the southern plains, setting up the next storm system. And in fact, you can see it here. We're seeing precipitation, rain, moving across New Mexico, Texas, into Oklahoma. And gradually, as it spreads northward, we're going to see snow break out across Kansas, Missouri, and then eventually heading toward Illinois and toward Chicagoland. And with respect to all of that, we've got a busy map. Lots of winter storm warnings up from northern Kansas and southern Nebraska, east across northern Missouri and southern Iowa, through northern Illinois, and into a small little corner there of Wisconsin, which includes Milwaukee. So Chicago, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Des Moines, all in the winter storm warning zones, and the winter weather advisories lie just to the south of both areas and just to the north of both areas as well. We also are going to be setting up for what's going to be a big severe weather risk day on Saturday. And ahead of that, we have flash flood watches up from northern Arkansas, across western Tennessee, southern Illinois and Indiana, almost just about, actually all of Kentucky, into southern Ohio and into West Virginia. A few winter weather advisories up for upstate New York and northern Vermont, and you can also see we've got various winter storm warnings and winter storm watches, and even some avalanche warnings out in the western part of the United States, where things have been very, very busy from the standpoint of weather. So WPC on their total liquid precip over the next 7 days, and this carries us from 8 o'clock tonight through 8 o'clock next Saturday in the northeast and mid-Atlantic states. It's basically a half to 3/4 of an inch. And then you get down into Virginia and North Carolina. We're looking at rainfall amounts of 1.5 inches or more, and also some big rains where we had the flash flood watches up in Kentucky, back into southern Missouri, northern Arkansas there, of 2 to 3 inches of rain or more, and also the big rains and the big snows continuing in the Pacific Northwest. Although we are starting to see rather interesting signs that the pattern of this deep trough in the western part of the U.S. is going to be breaking down over the next week. So that is probably going to lead to some very broad changes. What those changes ultimately are, I'm not sure yet, but we are going to be getting out of this pattern that we've been stuck in for the last 3 or 4 weeks during the month of December. Also want to point out, in terms of snowfall, we have snow amounts of 7 inches being forecast for Chicago, 8 for Milwaukee, going further west, Kansas City, is roughly at Topeka's at 3, Kansas City at 4. Just north and west of Kansas City, you see some 7, 8, and 9-inch amounts. Lincoln, Nebraska 6, Des Moines 6. So this is a fairly sizable snowfall that extends from the Central Plains right up into the Great Lakes. I also want to show you here, at least as far as upstate New York and up into northern New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine, where we're looking at maybe a coating to a couple of inches in places. Also, in spite of what the GFS is doing, and I'm sure a lot of you are paying attention to this, the Weather Service is not impressed, and they're not showing any type of snow accumulations in the forecast for the weekend. So, with respect to the overall pattern in the longer term, we'll give you a quick look at this before we do the short range. And here's our trough in the west as we move into New Year's Eve. A nice ridge there in the east. The whole trough is actually getting ejected and moving eastward, which is going to bring rain for Saturday and Sunday. And you can see this very strong southern shortwave, very, very strong system here in the southern part of the jet stream that is going to be the severe weather trigger for tomorrow. The northern part of the jet stream is racing out ahead. That is going to start bringing in cold air later on Sunday. And that southern stream system is somewhat suppressed, which is the reason why we're not going to see the precip from this lift that far north. I think it's going to really have a tough time getting much further north than, say, eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia for later Sunday afternoon and into Sunday night. That is the second weather system. And then as we go further along, a ridge is actually starting to build a bit in the western part of the United States this week. A little energy comes in with a trough, but that actually pulls out fairly quickly, and we get more ridging in the longer term in the west and general broad troughing in the eastern part of the United States. So this is a definite important change that we're seeing in the upper air as far as the long term is concerned. I want to go back to SPC. So this is for today. For late this afternoon and this evening, we have a slight risk of severe weather from southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas across into Arkansas and western Tennessee. The tornado risk here is as high as 5%, and that 5% tornado risk actually goes into an area that has gotten hit very hard with tornadoes in the last month. So the last thing we need is another severe weather outbreak accompanied by widespread tornadoes. This is what I'm worried about for tomorrow because of that southern shortwave moving eastward. The SPC folks have a very large area of enhanced risk for the northern half of Mississippi, northern Alabama, northwest Georgia, virtually all of Tennessee, southern Kentucky, and eastern Arkansas. And I think this could be a significant severe weather outbreak for tomorrow, which includes a 10% tornado risk. That's a pretty high number, especially given the time of year. I mean, we're talking January 1st, New Year's Day. You do get severe weather outbreaks during the winter, but we've had more than our share during the month of December, and that trend seems to want to continue here as we move on into January. Okay, so let's look at the let's look at the weather in the east. There are no issues really for tonight. If you're involved in New Year's activities, you should be okay with no problems, mostly dry. Some areas near the coast might see some patchy fog or a little light drizzle, but other than that, we're in good shape here. And now you start to see the moisture coming up for Saturday. Saturday is going to be an on and off rain, occasionally heavy at times, particularly later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. The first low exits to the east, so the rain tapers off Saturday night into Sunday morning. Now we have that second system moving in the southern part of the cold front, and you see it here, and there's snow on the western edge in parts of Tennessee and into Alabama, and even down into northern Georgia come Sunday night. A low in eastern South Carolina. Now the GFS continues to want to bring this up. It's the only model that's doing this. Every other model that I looked at has this very suppressed and to the south, including the new NAM. If we take a look at that, I mean, the precip from this doesn't come anywhere close. It may be too far south on the NAM. but the GFS is definitely overdone and too far north. And then behind all of this is the fact that we're going to see the coldest air of the winter season so far come in for Sunday night and for Monday. We're going to be seeing temperatures tomorrow in the mid 50s to low 60s, which is going to be quite warm. And then we're going to start to transition over to colder air later Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. It'll turn windy and colder Sunday night into Monday. And I'm thinking Monday, temperatures are going to have a hard time getting much above the low and mid 30s. So it looks like it's going to be cold for the first half of, at least the first half of next week. And then we'll probably warm up a bit for the second half. The Weather in 5 is, again, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, 6317-561-125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So, again, the big story here for tomorrow is going to be this potential widespread severe weather outbreak across the South in areas that have had several widespread outbreaks and destructive tornadoes that have killed hundreds in the last month and a half. So really, let's hope that this does not verify. These sorts of things are the kind of things that we don't want to see happen, but the risk is going to be quite high. So just putting it out there, and be sure to go to your local National Weather Service office for the latest weather information during this round of severe weather for Saturday, and you can find that by going to weather.gov. So happy New Year, everyone. I hope your 2022 is better than 2021. It's almost a no-brainer that it should be, unless something gets in the way. But thankfully, this year is over with. And enjoy yourselves. Be safe, and enjoy your weekend. Joe and Joe Weather Show will be back Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'll hope to see you then.